Hello, you've caught me playing Final Fantasy IX on PS4, and I've got to that bit in the game. That bit you always dread in JRPGs. That bit where all the main characters have been introduced, you've had everyone forced upon you at one point or another for story reasons, or you've had them taken away, thanks Final Fantasy VII, and now you've got to choose who gets into your main team and who you're dumping on the bench. It's such a hard choice. Take Final Fantasy IX for example. I need a white mage. Do I go for Dagger because she can summon Bahamut and Arc and has great healing magic? Or do I go for Aiko because she can use Holy, one of the most powerful offensive spells in the game? Do I go for Quina with their varied and deceptively powerful repertoire of blue magic? Or Vivi, who can use Flare and Meteor and Doomsday? I tell you who I'm not going for, Amarant. That's all he can do. Boring, miserable, hit you with my claws, Amarant. He's number 1 on my list of 7 JRPG characters no one ever has in their party. And by no one, I mean me. To start with, why would you choose Amarant over Steiner or Freya? Steiner's shock attack is pretty much guaranteed max damage, and Freya's Dragon Crest can't do anything but max damage as soon as you've taken out 100 Dragon-type enemies, whereas Amarant can throw all your items and money at enemies for rubbish amounts of damage calculated by an algorithm I can't be bothered to work out. Amarant threw 20,000 gil. 426 damage. Honestly, you're better off throwing your hard-earned cash into a black hole. A naked singularity of nothing that sucks in light, time, matter, and happiness. A cosmic void, much like the one Amarant obviously has equipped on the slot labelled personality. Yeah, I don't like Amarant. Here are 6 other JRPG characters no one ever has in their party. Second on our list is Shauna from The Legend of Dragoon, and my favourite thing about The Legend of Dragoon is the combat, in particular the additions unique to each character. They spice up the turn-based grind by testing your dexterity and reflexes. You have to hit X at precisely the right moment to extend your combos, or circle if the enemy throws in a counter. Additions are cool and help you get to know your characters a bit better. Dart has some awesome sword-based additions. Lavitz and then Albert have lightning-quick spear-based additions, and then Hashel uses his fists. And Shauna uses a bow and arrow without any additions. No additions, just rubbish damage. Rubbish damage. I mean, additions are how the characters build up juice to transform into their Dragoon alter egos. You feel a real sense of achievement when you earn the right to get your wings out. With Shauna, and then later on Miranda, it's just fire the arrows a few times. I mean, yeah, she has healing magic when she becomes a Dragoon, but whoop-de-doo, I've got potions. Also, I need Rose and Albert in my party. This is an attacking lineup. I've got no space for a white mage. You sit on the bench. Entry number 3 is from Breath of Fire 4. Now, I know technically you can't bench anyone in this game. You have a party of 6, and you rotate between them at all times, 3 on the front row and 3 on the back. But one character I have on the back as much as possible is Urshin, because damn if she doesn't know how to ruin my groove. Firstly, Urshin looks rubbish, sort of like a bin that's achieved sentience. And I'm nothing if not vain. Often I'll choose party members based on how cool their design is, even if they're totally useless. Hello, Vincent from Final Fantasy VII. Don't at me, okay? His limit break is terrible. But Urshin has nothing going for her. She talks in that stupid way where she always refers to herself in the third person, which technically is because the sentient bin is not her, she's the thing inside the sentient bin, and until much later in the game she's pretty naff in battle. I mean, yeah, her defense is high, but she's slow, really slow, and doesn't know any decent moves, so when you're chaining attacks together using Nina's magic and Ryu's dragon god form and Sias's incredible melee attacks and Ursula's hit everyone gun, Urshin is just sitting there, firing her boring rocket fist at things. Granted, Urshin does learn some high-level magic later on and gets a lot better, but the damage has already been done. Get on the back row. Number 4, Morgana from Persona 5. Now, I'm well aware this is going to be a controversial choice, but personally, the second Yusuke joined the party and it meant I could have a 4-person team without that irritating talking cat, I dropped him instantly. He'd already irritated me enough by repeating every gameplay tutorial approximately 47 times. You walk by pressing forward on the left stick. Press forward on the left stick if you want to walk. Try walking over to me, simply press forward on the left stick. Great! Remember, if you want to walk in future, you gotta press forward on the left stick, I get it! Admittedly, my decision to bench Morgana had less to do with his combat abilities, as it did with him just being super annoying, but I also distinctly remember him getting KO'd constantly throughout the first palace. Rubbish defense, always missing with his attacks. I'm definitely a dog person. Okay, it's time for another Final Fantasy entry. Sorry, but I can't talk about JRPG characters I don't use and not talk about Snow Villiers from Final Fantasy XIII. He's just such a jock. A big, clumsy, punchy, self-satisfied dude. I'll tell you what kind of guy Snow is. He's the kind of guy who'll come and sit next to you on the train and just like man spread all over the place. Sorry, were your elbows there? Well, I'm massive and take up too much space, so they're not there anymore. Also, have you seen my moves? I can punch things, I can punch lots of things, I can hit things, and then I can use lots of buffs actually, and time magic and ice magic and summon Shiva. Yeah, alright Snow, shut up, I'm still using Fang instead of you. Our 6th entry is less a character and more a character's ability, so I'm cheating a little bit, but the way Dark Chronicle frames this ability sort of makes it seem like a character, so hear me out. You've got Max and you've got Monica, both are vital to progress through the story and both have very cool abilities you'll definitely need. Monica has a sword, excellent for slicing through enemies, while Max has a wrench, great for breaking down the defense of golems and the like. Monica has ranged magic and Max has a pistol. Max has a ride pod called Steve that you can upgrade and stick amazing weapons on. Technically, if you've got enough fuel and ammo, you could play entire levels riding Steve. He's fantastic. I can remember loads of times he's saved my ass fighting those damn tree things. Then you've got Monica's version of Steve, which is the monster badges, which let you transform into and then fight as the monsters you encounter in Dark Chronicles dungeons. Cool, you might think, until you realise it's not. My first experience with the monster badges was when you have to use them for story reasons and transform into a Himara, a stupid plant thing from Sindane Forest. And there just wasn't the same level of instant gratification as when you first control the ride pod or crush an enemy with a charged up sword attack. And I'm not a patient man. If I'm not instantly gratified by something, chances are I won't be doing that thing again. And so I never played with Monica's monster badges after this. I'm sure they get better, but I just couldn't be bothered. Maybe you should have let me be a dragon straight away, because, you know, Dark Chronicle is all like, yeah, amazing, awesome, and our last entry is Roger S. Huxley from Star Ocean Till the End of Time. Roger is an optional character, but I like to pick him up just so I can then sit him on the bench and watch him slowly dwindle into obscurity, like when Spurs sign really promising Crystal Palace youngsters. I think the main problem with Roger is that by the time you get to him, you've already got Cliff and Nell leveled up to their teeth. And also that he's an annoying raccoon child. Admittedly, Roger has some pretty decent weapons if you get him early enough, which can give you a healthy melee attack boost until you can start crafting better equipment for the rest of your party. But even if you do stick Roger in, it's only ever temporary. He's there until everyone else catches up, like, and I'm going to use another football analogy, like that rubbish player you only use when everyone else is injured. Because when you've got a full complement of awesome team members like Albel and Sophia and Maria to choose from, not to mention Cliff and Nell, who become sort of the default team for nearly half the game, Roger just isn't getting a look in, so he can use traps and draw enemies closer to him and blah blah blah. When I play JRPGs, my strategy is hit hard and hit fast. After level grinding to the point where every boss is a cakewalk, obviously, which is rule A1 in the How to Play JRPGs Stress-Free Handbook. So there you go, 7 JRPG characters no one, i.e. me, ever has in their party. Let us know in the comments which characters you always leave sulking on the no XP screen. Give us a like if you enjoyed the video, and please join us again next week for another Friday feature. Thanks for watching.